Hi, my name is Viola and I'm a member of this present house. I live on the East Coast of the United States of America, right now in Alexandria, Virginia. I've been watching online for the last year and a half or so. I met a very dynamic young woman called Shola Bello, who is a member of this present house. I met her in 2014 in DC, and we got to talking about the churches we both belong to, and she told me about this present house. In fact, I remember she had clips on YouTube on her phone about things that you guys had run previously. So she was in love with her church, and she had a few things to tell me about her church. I think initially what drew me in was this clip that was just very socially conscious. It was about a woman who was in drugs and who was rehabbed and put into a house that, from my understanding, is run by Freedom Foundation, of which this present house is a part. And I was just so drawn in by a church that was socially conscious. What kept me, honestly, is how prophetic this present house is. Prophetic in times of the seasons and the times that we're in. In 2014, the fall of 2014, I was seeking. I was going through a personal crisis. I knew there was more. I knew they had to be better. And I was just in a state of restlessness and discontent. And the food I was getting from my church was just not enough. And it was about that time that Pastor Tony Rapper was doing a series on Jacob's quest for identity, and Jacob's quest for purpose, even when he didn't know it. And that just had me, because it defined what that season was for me, and it forced me to make a choice that I know was destiny changing. From that point on, I get up early, I catch the 8 a.m. or the 10 a.m. service, and I look forward to it. I have so many life-changing testimonies. I was making up my mind to leave the law firm. I'd practiced that for about 7 years. At a very interesting time. It was good business for us, lots of promotion, but my restlessness just wouldn't let me be. And I remember listening to a sermon. I can't tell you the name of the sermon, but I remember in that moment, I knew that putting my legal practice on the altar of the Lord was the thing for me to do at that time. And I did. It's all coming together now. I also remember watching a sermon by Mrs. Udo Okonjo, where she was talking about going mega. And I remember it was at the heels of getting inspiration for the kind of businesses I would be involved in. A few weeks ago, it became clear to me that I needed to go to Lagos. And of course, top of my list was to make it to this present house. Just to thank the Lord for what He's done in my life through this place, and to cry out to Him that many other lives will be touched just like mine. That many other stories that are being written right now, for which Pastor Tony would never know, for which Pastor Nkoyo would never know, for which the leadership would never know, but for which they'll reap reward in eternity to come. Because I know my life would never be the same. And it's taking me to levels that I didn't even know were possible for me. What can I say but to God be the glory? And what can I say but thank God for this present house that is speaking to this generation.